Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are. So what do? 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Beam me up, Scotty. Now then, my delicious babies, so it's 3:30 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies, on the 24th of May 2025. Very cloudy today, my delicious little babies. The sun is trying to crack out, but well, it's not doing a very good job today, my delicious little babies. Never mind, okay? The main thing is now that it's not raining, but last night it was. If it's raining, it's raining. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, well, I never heard anything because for myself, I was in my cot and I slept like a baby, my delicious little babies. So what have I got today? So I've got, full grapefruit, orange juice, a couple of squirts of ginger, and a full lemon, my delicious little baby. So I'm just going to have a sip, please and thank you. I've just had 2 soups today as well, my delicious little babies. Okay, I've had my broccoli one with my celery, with all the garlic and everything in it. And I just had a potato and leek soup, my delicious little babies. Okay, so they're just the soups that I made, and I've got some for me beautiful little elderly neighbours, my delicious little babies. So I'm going to quickly do our video, then I'm going to go and nip it round to them. Okay, my delicious little babies. So just 2 videos today, my delicious little babies. Okay, so the first one, this uploader happens to, both on YouTube, my delicious little babies, happens to have 467 subscribers, my delicious little babies, and this one's popped up on my feed. In the older space bar, should anybody have any form of an interest, the video is 7 minutes and 41 seconds, my delicious little babies. Capital B, build, space, capital Y, your, space, capital F, future, and then a hyphen, and then capital T for Tom, and then a space H for Hoskin. Okay, my delicious little babies. So it should read, build your future, hyphen Tom Hoskin. That's the uploader, my delicious little babies. Now the video should read BlackRock, the company buying up Britain. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? BlackRock, the company buying up Britain. Yes, my delicious little babies. Okay, so he just gives a quick rundown on what's happening, to do with the properties that have been bought up, my delicious little babies. Okay, so here's my question in all this, my delicious little babies. Okay, well, has anybody asked, if we want our properties bought up, my delicious little babies? Did anybody ask anybody in old England, my delicious little babies? No. What they do all, there we are, before I even say it, so when all cold then, because my beautiful dear little spirit guide knows what I'm going to say. They do everything behind closed doors, my delicious little babies, okay, so that we out here do not know anything, my delicious little babies, okay. But anyway, very interesting the way that he comes across, and with anybody not in that way, the way he comes across, you do not see him, he's just speaking, my delicious little babies. But I've never seen this uploader before, okay, my delicious little babies. So chances are it'll probably, there we are, be a one-off, okay, my delicious little babies. But he comes across, in my view, and I was looking at some of the comments, my delicious little babies, he comes across as being very professional, in how he puts, the video across to us out here, my delicious little babies. Okay, now the final one for today. This is in the order space bar, my delicious little babies, capital M, medieval, okay, with an A-L on the end, space, capital W, wisdom. Okay, my delicious little babies, so it should read, this is the upload of my delicious little babies, and again, this is more than likely going to be a one-off, okay? Medieval space wisdom, that's the upload of my delicious little babies, okay? These ones happen to have, this uploader, sorry, 24.3 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? Now, the video should read, and this is, what was it? 17 minutes and 9 seconds, I do believe, my delicious little babies, okay? This one's popped up on my feed as well. Should read 8 medieval crops that fed millions, and then in brackets, and could save us again. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? 8 medieval crops that fed millions and could save us again. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to close my book, okay? And I always thank any uploaders, because, all uploaders, bless them, we must go back to where we need to, my delicious little babies, because for, uploaders, they work very hard, don't they, okay? And for some of them, they do a lot of editing and everything like this now. Then for myself, there's no point asking myself, my delicious little babies, because I don't know how to flip into the editing, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll just bang out my video, my delicious little babies, to you all, okay? But, yeah, so what were they talking about? Broad beans, what was the other thing? Turnip. What else was it? They were talking about rye. They were talking about, was it parsnips? Was parsnips on? I think they were. Okay, my delicious little babies. And they're just talking about all these foods that kept everybody going. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, why am I mentioning this? Well, I'm mentioning it because, as we very well know, for the ones who do know, let's just say they're trying to cut back on food, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So, ones need to be able to find a way to grow things, my delicious little babies. Now then, I, a while back now, my beautiful little neighbours up the road who, they have their own little allotment. Well, actually, he shares it with somebody else, you know what I mean? So I suppose it helps them, him and whoever it is, you know what I mean? Because you have to pay for that little patch, you know what I mean, so that you can grow things. And I actually was out shopping and I bought some seeds, different things. And when I took it over, I think it was a few months ago, I did it now. I took it over and said, oh, I love these. I forgot what they were now. Were they green beans or something, So anyway, I says, and I've seen them the other day and I said to them, I said, I'll tell you what, I said, if you could let me know, if you want some other little seeds, so that you can have more of a selection, of vegetables and everything to grow. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, because he already does the spuds and everything, you know what I mean? I love me spuds. So this little video, for myself, I thought it was, there we are, very informative, my delicious little babies, okay? Because I really just do feel now, there we are, that ones really start to need to get cracking. I do know some at the moment, as well as me dear little neighbours up the road, bless them. I do know others who are growing, there we are, fruit and vegetables in their back gardens. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So I feel that more and more need to really try to do this, my delicious little babies. Now then, what did I hear? In a barn in the USA. So what they're saying that, what's his name? That putrid R.F. Kennedy. he's trying to, to do with the, well, all of these nasty ingredients in the American food, my delicious little babies, okay? So he's trying to work at that to, so that America can be healthier, it seems, my delicious little babies. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, and you only have to listen to our lovely, not in that way, our lovely redacted on YouTube, my delicious little babies, that's the latest video. Clayton, bless him, not in that way, is talking to a really good woman, not in that way, a really good woman. And the video is, 36 minutes, 11 seconds, I do believe. And she's really, really good. And she explains about, what a diet or something should be. Do you see what I mean? It's a really banging video to listen to as well, my delicious little babies, okay? So, yeah, apparently, RF Kennedy is supposedly trying to do something. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we, my delicious little babies? So how can he manage to get all of these nasty ingredients out of all the food, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Could it be that maybe now he is quite possibly, as well as others, that we are leading others up the garden path, my delicious, there we are, little babies, I wonder? Okay, because I cannot see how he can do that, and especially as all the years that they've been putting the crap in. We've got it in England, my delicious little babies, exactly the same. I mean, there was some peanuts. Where was it the other day? I mean, I love peanuts. Do you know what I mean, my delicious? I do love peanuts. I've loved them ever since I was little, and peanut, butter spread and everything, right? Okay, and I looked on the back to see, well, basically what the coating was or something. And it clearly said rapeseed oil, my delicious little babies. Okay? So I thought to myself, oh, no. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? But like I said, they've introduced all of these nasty things now. Okay? Because you never used to have it, especially, I love my dear nanny and granddad, so they're so beautiful, okay? They never used to have to put up with all this crap. Going back decades and decades ago, my delicious little babies never had none of this. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Because, I mean, if you look at it, well, it seems to be in many countries, my delicious little babies, where there does appear to be a rather large number, shall we say, who are quite, I would say, there we are, or even say unhealthy, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Like with foods and things like this now. And I was talking to one of my, that doesn't mean no, just got an itch. I was talking to one of my lovely dear little elderly neighbours up the road now, the one who I'm going to be taking the soups round to. And I made her some butter as well today, my delicious little baby. So she's going to be very super duper happy with myself, okay? And it's all free of charge, you know what I mean? But she just really appreciates it, Lovely dear lady. And we were talking, and I said to her, I said, well, I cannot stand. I said, it's these flipping Just Eats. They get on my flipping frigging nerves, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? I just don't get it. I really, really fail to get it, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? I mean, for the ka-ching, what they spend, they could go to a shop or something, there we are, and go and get all of the ingredients to make something delicious. Okay, as with anything, it does take preparation. We all know this. But the point is, my delicious little babies, is that you get far more enjoyment out of eating your own food that's taking you the time to make. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Because I can well assure you now, my delicious little babies, that, what's in most of these takeaways, my delicious little babies, and I've known long times anyway, for years and years and decades, it's just crap, isn't it? You know what I mean? Then say like a couple of hours later, then they've eaten that, and then they're feeling hungry again. My delicious little babies, well, wow, would they be feeling hungry? There we are, so quickly. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, so they must be putting, there we are, something, these oils, there we are, into the food. They've got to be, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so yeah, I mean, I know that I ramble on about things, yes I do, but you know, I've got to be honest with you, my delicious little babies. It just pees me off. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I feel has happened. So I'm not saying this to be, you know, to be offensive to anybody. No, I am not. I would never ever do that. But you know, like if you go back decades ago, like things were treats. You know, you used to have a treat. But now, because over the years, everything, there we are, has just become readily available. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes? Okay, this is what has happened. So, you know, I'm not saying it's bad to everybody. No, I'm not, you know. Everybody's all different shapes and sizes. But like I said, I'm not saying it to be offensive. I would never do that. I'm just saying, you know, and like we want, I mean, the flipping box in the corner of the room, they're getting larger and larger, my delicious little babies, by the flipping minute. Do you see what I mean? So whilst they've got everybody watching the box in the corner of the room, you know, and eating all the crap, I'm not saying that everybody does that. No, I'm not, okay? Because I know there are, happen to know some superb ones who can cook, okay? My delicious little babies, okay? But you have got certain others where they let's just say they seem to like their treats. There we are. It appears, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So yeah, and then what's the last thing that I heard? Oh yeah, and the last thing, something to do with what is it now? Having a jibby jab, okay? Without, what is it? Without the mRNA in it. My delicious little babies, okay? So on one hand, that putrid RFK in America supposedly is meant to be, you know, to get all the crap out of the food, okay? But he doesn't seem to be moving much on to do with anything else, does he, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I mean? See, the way I see it is, right, the proof, it's an old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies, the proof, there we are, is in the pudding. So until, for myself, I actually see it with my own eyes and hear it with my own ears, and we actually see that things will be improving, okay? Up until that point, I don't believe a word. I don't believe a word. Okay, my delicious little babies, no, I do not. Me personally, I personally do not feel that much will change at all. But what I am to do with that putrid RFK Kennedy, right, is that, what does he say? That he's pro... Well, to myself, my delicious little babies, what do they call it? MAHA. Make America Healthy Again. Well, that doesn't sound to myself, my delicious little babies, that let's just say he would be wanting to make America healthy again. My delicious little babies, it doesn't sound that way to myself, my delicious little babies, no. And finally, sorry, okay, yeah, stumbled there anyway. So I've known, let's just say, a fair few in my decades, my delicious little babies, who have, diabetes, and usually they've had diabetes, and then they go to your not so friendly quacks, okay? Anyway, they get some sort of medication, it seems, but they've usually lived for years and years and years and years. But it appears that what we seem to be hearing, my delicious little babies, is very sadly, younger generations, like in the 30s, my delicious little babies, very sadly, passing away. And then it's to do with the diabetes. Me, myself, personally, my delicious little babies, I've never heard of that. Not in all of the decades that I've known anybody who's had diabetes, my delicious little babies. I've never heard of that before. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. But how sad is that? My delicious little babies, okay? And yeah, and I'll repeat again, I've been noticing there's more now with the old muzzle. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? So can you see now what's going on with the box in the corner of the room? There we are, what they're cooking up. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes, okay? It's just bonkers. But if you try to tell somebody, you know, well, what are you wearing, you know, a mask for, a muzzle, I call it, okay, my delicious little babies, okay? They simply, well, number one, they would usually say, well, you know, it's because I choose to wear it. Well, no, because before the old pandemic, my delicious little babies, well, there wasn't wearing one then, was there? Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. So, but as far as I'm concerned, these are the ones, there we are. You just simple things, you cannot help them. Cannot help them, my delicious little babies, okay? They're never going to change. And they've still got that young one who lives in another road. He marches up the road, he marches down the road. I've never seen such a young lad walk so flipping damn quick in my life, you know what I mean? And he has this muzzle. And bless him, all I can say is he clearly has got, very sadly, there we are, mental health issues, my delicious little babies. Do you see what it's done to some, my delicious little babies, okay? But no, I'm very concerned about this to do with, you know, I've never heard of that before with the diabetes. No, I haven't. In fact, I was rather taken aback, you know, when I was talking to somebody, God bless them, do you know what I mean? Okay. I was just in shock because I've never heard of this. My delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Okay. And really, for many others, that they've never heard of it either, my delicious little babies. Okay, so something's not correct, is it? But as I say to anybody, God bless everybody, you know, bless their beautiful, dear little souls. You know, may they rest in peace. Do you know what I mean, okay? At what has been done, my delicious little babies, okay? Because there's something not right there. It doesn't sound right to myself anyway. And, you know, and really, nobody should be passing away at such an early age, my delicious little babies. No, they should not. We've never heard of this before. You know, it's like the cancer. You know what I mean? It's like they're getting younger and younger and younger. I mean, before it used to be rare, they say. Rare. Okay, my delicious little babies, now you're hearing it, there we are, every 5 flipping minutes, man. So something's clearly not correct, is it, my delicious little babies? Okay, something very dark, there we are, and sinister, there we are, is going on, my delicious little babies, yes. Anyway, so until my next video, my little beautifuls, okay? Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, okay? And wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies, okay? And yeah, please take care of yourselves and please try to take care of others, my delicious little babies, okay? Oh, one last thing. I seen Katie Hopkins video, when was it last week now? Oh, and she went into the countryside, bless her. You know, of course, not in that way, bless her. She went into the countryside, you know, where they're flipping digging up all of our lovely flipping greenery, marvelous little babies, okay, to replace them with these poxy effing flipping solar panels, which is about as much use as an ashtray on a motorbike, my delicious little babies, or a chocolate effing teapot. They're no flipping use at all. How often do we have the flipping sunshine in old England, my delicious little babies? See, I'm stumbling there because they change the weather, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying with the zums? Okay? So it's flipping useless, okay? But she went on to the building site, didn't she, my delicious little babies? And they were trying to shoo her off, bless her. But bless dear Katie Hopkins, bless you, dear Katie. No, she wouldn't go. She said, I'm just, you know, showing on my video. Yeah, but you need to take a look at it, my delicious little babies. I think it's only about over 4 minutes long. It wasn't a long video, my delicious little babies, yeah? But, I mean, come on. I mean, even them builders, I mean, they should know, there we are, that this is not correct, what they are doing. But do you see how one's, for the ka-ching, what they would do now, knowing that, you know, the beautiful countryside is supposed to be left, there we are, as a beautiful countryside. But they know this, it's just so they can get the ka-ching and change. You know, the pound, shilling, pence, dollars and change. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, but yeah, that's a good little video. Good little video, Katie, bless you. But yeah, but this is just been crackers. Anyway, but, you know, what we're going to have to do is continue to good vibrations. And please, can we send our love and prayers and bright blessings to anybody who's very poorly. There we are. Anybody who's very poorly at the moment, my delicious little babies in the world, okay, because there are quite a large number, my delicious little babies, and our beautiful little babies, okay, because they've had to suffer as well for some. Okay, my delicious little babies as well, who we call our little sons and daughters, okay? You know, so I'm not going to say nothing more on that. I just get rather angry and annoyed and vexed. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? Because our beautiful little babies cannot speak for themselves. Do you see? Anyway, my delicious little babies, well, they can sort of meow and bark and everything, do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying, I'm saying, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean, okay? So they do not know what's going into their system, do they, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Anyway, so please just look after yourselves, all right, my little beautifuls, okay? Because it's just complete madness. And everything what's going on, do you know what I mean? It's flipping completely all, there we are, backwards, my delicious little babies, okay? So, you know, you just have a super duper beautiful time. I hope the weather's better where you are, my little beautifuls, okay? Love ya. Thank you for listening. Thank you for any views and, you know, for any likes and for the occasional comments. Thank you so very much. How I love you all so. Ta-ta.